Well, hi friends. Today we're going to start studying the life cycle of a new classification of animals. Remember, when we classify animals, that means that we can sort them or group them by different types. God made every animal different and unique, but the great thing about God is that He gave them all a group. There's more than just one type of bird. There's more than one type of mammal. When we were studying earlier this school year, we studied penguins, and that's what taught us all about birds, that birds have wings and birds have feathers and birds lay eggs. Those special things about an animal make it a bird. And then we studied about mammals when we studied about polar bears, and we talked about Arctic foxes, and we talked about we as humans are also mammals. We are warm-blooded. That means that our temperature kind of stays the same. Mammals have babies that are born alive. They drink their mother's milk. There's some kind of hair on their body. Even though we don't have as much hair as a polar bear, we still have hair on our bodies. Pigs seem to not have a lot of hair, but if you look closely, even pigs have hair because they're mammals. Today we're going to learn about amphibians. Can you say that? Say amphibian. Amphibian. Amphibians are a classification that includes frogs. So today I'm going to read you this book about frogs, and I want you to see if you can hear the life cycle of a frog. Can you hear those parts that make up the cycle of a frog's life? Let's see what we can find. This is a National Geographic Kids book, and this one is written by Marfee Ferguson Delano. Frogs. Look at that frog in the water. Those look like little bubbles in the water, but they're actually his cheeks. Frogs. Look, a frog. Up in a tree, a tiny tree frog balances on a branch. Tree frogs tiptoe on twigs and leap onto leaves. Sticky toe tips help tree frogs climb and cling. Down by a stream, a big bullfrog snuggles into squishy, mushy mud. Squelch. In a sandy desert, a spadefoot toad digs with shovel-like back feet, burrowing underground. Look at him blend in with that sand. Sploosh! Out in a pond, a leggy leopard frog launches off a lily pad. It arches through the air and splashes into the water. Look at his legs as he's flying through the air with his big jump. Home sweet home. Frogs live almost everywhere on Earth except Antarctica. You can find them on mountaintops, in forests, creeks and rivers, ponds and lakes, fields, parks, gardens, and deserts. There are more than 5,000 kinds of frogs. Here are some from around the world. Vietnamese mossy frog, Wallace flying frog. Look at that between his toes. Do you remember what it's called when there's skin between your toes, like between our finger? Fleischmann's glass frog, spadefoot toad, Pac-Man frog, Australian green turtle frog, flaming poison dart frog. Frogs come in many different colors and sizes. They can be tiny or they can be huge. Frogs can be bumpy or frogs can be smooth. Some frogs are even see-through. Most mother frogs lay eggs in or near the water. Pop! When eggs hatch, out pop tiny tadpoles. They live underwater and eat tiny plants. They look like fish, but they're wiggly, wriggly baby frogs, also known as pollywogs. So look, egg, tadpole. Are you hearing the life cycle? Tadpoles start out with chubby, stubby bodies and long, flat tails. But as a tadpole grows, its body changes. It sprouts legs for swimming and hopping. Its tail gets smaller and smaller. Its eyes get bulgier and bulgier. Its mouth gets wider and wider. Finally, the tadpole looks like a frog. But let's see, it still has a little bit of a tail. Out of the water it crawls. And it's like this. It's called a froglet. Now the young frog is ready to explore its new world and to eat. Gulp. This frog loves to eat bugs. It shoots out its sticky tongue and snaps up a passing insect, pulls the prey into its mouth, and swallows it whole. Look at that tongue. Froggy feasts. Frogs are not fussy eaters. They will eat just about anything that moves, as long as it can fit in its mouth. How far can you stick out your tongue? Do you think a worm tastes yummy or yucky? Bugs and caterpillars are fine food for frogs. Frogs chow down on insects, spiders, worms, slugs, and snails. Some large frogs also dine on mice and even other frogs. Look at the dragonfly wings sticking out. This mouse better watch out for big hungry frogs. Frogs eat all kinds of animals, and all kinds of animals eat frogs. Birds and bats, snakes and rats, raccoons, fish, lizard, crocodiles, and even bears all gobble up frogs. How do frogs survive? Some hide by blending into the background. Some have brilliant colors that warn hungry hunters, don't eat me. These brightly hued frogs have poison in their skin. Jump, frog. A frog on the ground can leap to safety. And in a treetop, a gliding frog spreads its toes wide, jumps off a branch, and glides. Happy landing. All in the family. Now these kind of look the same, but this is a frog and this is a toad. Don't let toads fool you. Despite their name, toads are a kind of frog. But that doesn't mean frogs and toads are exactly alike. Frogs live most of their lives around water. Toads can be found in drier places, even in deserts. Here are some ways that frogs and toads are different and the same. Moist, smooth skin, no tail, long, strong legs for jumping and leaping, 5 toes on hind legs, 4 toes on front legs, teeth in upper jaw, bulging eyes. Can you make your eyes look really big? Poison gland behind each eye, no teeth, so teeth, no teeth, 4 toes on front legs, 5 toes on hind legs, short legs just right for walking or short hops, no tail, dry bumpy skin, so moist skin, dry skin, teeth, no teeth, long legs, short legs. Sing like a frog. Even when you can't see frogs, you can often hear them singing. Some frogs puff up their throats like balloons to make sound. Each type of frog has its own special call. Some are so loud they can be heard a mile away. Here are some frog calls. Can you make these froggy sounds? A bullfrog says, jug-a-rum, jug-rum. Spring peepers, peep, peep, peep. Look how big his throat got. Red-eyed tree frog, chok, chok, chok. A coqui frog, coqui, coqui. Gray tree frog, dor-dor-ow, dor-dor-ow. Wood frog, quack, quack, quack. And that's the end of frogs.